Hello everybody, welcome to episode 3.
Hi everybody, it's good to be back.
First off, let's say thank you for all your kind comments, your compliments, your suggestions, and your praise. We are tremendously refreshed by the positive feedback that you've sent our way over this last couple of days.
Thank you so much. We're thrilled. It went beyond our expectation. We thought we were sharing just something mini and really small, but thank you so much for the feedback. We're really
and for sharing with us the things that you have learned and sharing with us how to cure our snoring as well. I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Today we're going to be dealing with some very pertinent issues, and we've tagged it "You asked for it." For obvious reasons, lots of questions have come our way, literally dozens of them, and we hope to attempt to answer quite a few of them today. So Ella, give us a bit more insight.
So what we've done is we've categorized the questions under broad umbrellas, if you will. So we've compressed them into 5 questions, or maybe 6. But somehow we'll touch on every other question. And if we do not touch on your question, you still have an opportunity to communicate with us. So leave the question in the comment box, or send us an email, or give us your email address, and we'll be sure to get back to you.
I know you're possibly wondering right now, are they going to answer my question? Will they respond to my question? Well, you have to hang in for just a few more moments, because after this break that is dedicated to you, we're going to answer those questions the best way we can within the time frame we have allocated on this episode. So stay tuned, because we'll be back
to tell you more. And this question came in quite a bit.
In different forms.
In different forms, exactly. So pretty much the question is, how did we know that we were supposed to be with each other? And did we hear the voice of the Lord?
My son Dami.
Yeah.
My son Dami.
Yeah. So we're just gonna go straight to it, and so how did you know I was the one?
You are the one.
Just answer the question.
People have asked me the same question, saying, did you hear God? Did you pray? Did you have 3 witnesses? Did you get a scripture? Did you see a glory cloud? Did you see a halo on her head? Did you dream? And all of those very interesting things. And I think that for me, it wasn't that super sacrosanct or super spiritual experience where an angel came in a puff of cloud. It was a growing awareness and a growing conviction. Because the first time I saw you, I was like, who's that girl? Literally, I was just like, who's that girl? And I'd seen many, many beautiful girls before I met her. But when I saw her, she made their beauty pale into insignificance, to be honest. Yeah, but that was not like the hook for me, because I believe that if you're going to be with somebody for the rest of your life, you can't just anchor it on beauty or on the exterior or the posterior or anterior, as the case may be. It had to be something deeper and stronger and richer. So I began to develop and cultivate a friendship with her, and that spanned about a year. And thereafter I asked her out. There are a few key things that stood out for me. First of all, she, like I said earlier, she's very pretty. She has good looks. You should smile at that. Don't get tired of hearing that. And apart from that, I felt so comfortable in her presence. I felt very safe in her presence. And one of the scriptures I had received about the person I should marry, or was to marry, was in the book of Proverbs, that's 1, where it says that the heart of her husband doth safely trust in her. I enjoyed talking to her. I enjoy talking with her. I enjoy sharing with her. Now she claims I talk too much. You talk too much. You're always saying something.
I don't claim. You talk a lot.
I don't think so. I think I just share.
You share a lot.
I share a lot, yeah. So I felt very comfortable with her. I could share my thoughts, my vulnerabilities, my concerns with her. And anytime I spoke to her, she listened and she paid attention and she was caring. And the amazing thing was that when I met her, she did not even know I was a pastor, but she treated me with so much dignity and respect and affection, and I really enjoyed that. And apart from this, she was very organized, so I saw that she was a homemaker. She was also very intelligent because she could ask questions that provoked me to think and to prefer solutions and suggestions and ideas. And beyond that was the fact that whenever I spoke about my future and what God had told me, she did not express her doubts. I mean, she would say now that I had I still do have some very big dreams and some massive goals and objectives. But even though at the time, she was like, what's wrong with this guy? She didn't doubt it. And when I didn't even have a car, or I didn't even have an apartment of my own, she was there all along. So those were some of the key attributes. And ultimately, I got a God stamp on it. That God stamp was not a my son. It was just a growing sense of peace, a growing sense of favor around our relationship, and a growing sense of conviction that this was what God wanted for me. And I'm very, very glad that regardless of some of the flickers of cold feet at a certain point,
he did get cold feet today, and I was not happy about that at all. But let's not go there. Yeah.
All right, so that's my story in brief, maybe not so brief. But what's your story? How did you know I was the man? Because I'm sure you had some men around you, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
Pride.
I did.
I had some girls around me too.
Anyway.
I still have girls.
You still have girls around you, but yeah, too late.
You're the one.
So how did I know? I attended a very good church, and I started attending the singles fellowship very early, or early enough. So it put a lot of things in perspective for me. So I knew the right questions to ask, when to ask them, how to ask them. I knew what to look out for. I knew how to differentiate between being in love and just infatuation, or just a strong liking. Or I didn't have everything totally on lockdown, but I had a good enough percentage of stuff to work with.
You had a good foundation.
Yes. So
not like a makeup foundation.
No, not that. So a lot of things checked out. So the social compatibility checked out. I mean, I could go out with him and not be embarrassed. Oh. Yeah, so he could dress well, he could speak well. There's always room for improvement, but I had no issues generally. And I'm not saying those things are the majors, because things change, things can improve even in that dimension. But that checked out for me. The spiritual compatibility definitely. In fact, I didn't even think we were very compatible at that time, because he was there. He knew scriptures, the gifts of the Spirit were working. He knew pastors and bishops that were born hundreds of years ago, and he knew when the stations of when the different programs on TBN were coming on. And I'm like, Jesus, when will I catch up with this? But it spurred me on to want more, to learn more. It was very exciting for me. I enjoyed
that because we're able to have creative conversations around the Word of God.
Yeah.
And you also created an atmosphere that made it easy for me to. So at the time, I didn't think we were not compatible. I didn't think so. I just felt like, okay, this is good fellowship.
Okay. I didn't know that. Now I know. Yeah, so social compatibility, spiritual compatibility. His family was cool. They were Christians. They liked me. There were no deep cultural issues that brought for speculation. You know, the major things checked out. He wasn't dodgy. He wasn't acting suspect. He wasn't trying to sleep with me. Kissing was not even in the relationship. It was just, he wasn't asking to sleep with me. It never even came up. A lot of things checked out. He advised me, he counseled me, he was a friend. Yeah. He made me want to grow. I was seeing my life in 5 years' time more clearly, in 10 years' time more clearly. So the basic things that I wanted in life checked out. What I wanted in life aligned with his purpose and his vision as well. So we're on the same page. So I wasn't thinking of becoming a teacher, a speaker, or someone in ministry, and he was thinking about something completely different. So that really flowed. And then I remember there was a time I told God, okay, God, I'm beginning to like this guy a bit too much. But this is the kind of person, he's a pastor, he's out there, he's popular, everybody knows him. Yeah, so with each year, things were just getting better. And yeah, so that was pretty much it for me, really.
Yeah, I think two things I left out earlier. The foundation of friendship really helped because whoever you're going to marry is going to be in your space for the rest of your life. And don't marry somebody who tolerates you, marry somebody who celebrates you, marry somebody you're comfortable with, marry somebody you can spend the rest of your life with, literally. And I got to that place and there was a God conviction on it. Okay, so I think that helps somebody somewhere.
Yep, so we'll just jump into the next question.
Yeah, and the next question is... What is the meaning of LL? Tell us. Again,
why are you squealing like that? Like
because it's mainly girls that ask.
And I don't even know why they do that. Do we really talk like that? I don't get it. Why do you guys change your voice?
Hi, Paige. Hi. Hello. My name is LL.
Is that how I'm talking at the moment?
No, not really. I'm exaggerating.
Anywho, so what's the meaning of LL?
You tell me.
I should tell you. You started calling me that.
Lady. I started calling you that.
Yeah.
Okay. Lady of luxury.
That's not it.
Layers of love.
Can you imagine calling your wife layers of love? What's that?
That's a good one. Love lines.
What lines?
Love lines.
What lines?
Love.
The lines of love.
Yeah.
What are the lines
That's
of love?
That's thing straight. I like the lines. Line of love.
Okay.
That's not the meaning of LL. Now, I started calling her LL, but she's the owner of the name. So
I should be the one to tell you. Well, seeing as we cannot resolve this debate as to who to tell you the meaning of LL, it seems
as to who to tell. Okay, yeah, it seems that
this question might go unanswered, except you receive the spirit of revelation.
Amen. Receive the spirit of revelation right now,
or the word of knowledge, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sad about that. So sorry about that.
Sorry.
It's a growing reality because life is always a battle for equilibrium. Things always happen, new responsibilities, new relationships, new tasks and assignments. And knowing that and coming to that realization about maybe 8 years ago has really helped me to know that you've got to be able to handle many things at once. One of the things I've done is to learn priorities, what priorities are, what the big rocks are in your life. The big rocks are the big things, the foundation stones, and knowing what they are. So for me, a quick scan of my priorities: number one is God. Number two is my family, currently just the two of us, but currently. Don't ask me any questions.
Don't ask me any questions either.
And number three is becoming all that God has called me to be. So that's career, that's vocation, that's ministry, that's all the other works. So priority is very important. The second thing is planning my schedule. So there's something we've done, and I'm always looking for new ways to do that. Every day I have a list of about 5 to 10 things that I'm going to accomplish for that day, and that's usually a subset of what I plan to do for that week, which is a subset of what I'm going to do for that month. So one of the things I've also done, or we've done recently, is to have a family calendar where there's a column for church, there's a column for me, and there's a column for her. And we just fill in those things and try to use them as a guide. And more recently, we started using this post-it note on one of our dressing mirrors. So the first thing is my priority, the second thing is my planning. The third thing is now just getting to do it. Being able to do it and giving myself no excuses. If I have to record a podcast in the middle of the night, I'm gonna do it. If I have to shoot a video at odd hours of the day, I'm gonna do it. If I have to send in that email at whatever time, I just get with it. So I think if you go through those three things, you'll be able to handle all the different responsibilities.
Next question.
The next question is, that question. for the rest of your life, you're going to be a pastor's wife. So how does that feel?
I get this question a lot from my friends and from family and people who don't really know me but just know who I am. And I think I keep on telling you, I refuse to understand the meaning of the question. And so I always have to ask another question. What exactly do you mean? But seeing as you're not here to answer that question, I'll just, think about it and try to imagine what you think. I don't feel different being a pastor's wife, because I'm assuming people want to know how it feels like to be in ministry and coping with the many demands of ministry and his schedule and showing up at meetings and all of that. What I always say is, I've been a Christian for a bit, and I've always desired God and desired to be a part of his work. I've always, well, not always, but more often than not, been in leadership. And so I don't see it as a totally new or different task. I mean, it's on a new level with new...
She was born again before she was born.
No, I wasn't. Yes, I just see it as a continuation and a new level of where God is taking me to, and I'm just following him just the same way I've been following him ever since. And so the same God who saw me through the other years is the same God now. Yeah. So that's very comforting for me, first of all. The second thing is, my husband never puts any kind of pressure on me to behave in a certain way or act in a certain way.
Other than being a Christian, I put pressure on her to be a Christian.
Exactly, so that's the main point. So I'm a pastor's wife, but I'm a Christian, and I believe if I'm a Christian, then being a pastor's wife just aligns, everything else just falls in place. Because everything that is expected of a pastor's wife is really for her to be a Christian. So be kind, be nice.
The fruit of the Spirit.
The fruit of the Spirit, really. Be gentle, be faithful, and all of that. So I enjoy working with him. I enjoy supporting him.
Yeah.
I enjoy working in church. I enjoy serving God. So
okay, so let me ask you some specific questions some people might want to ask. Like, do you have women looking at you funny or treating you funny? Do you have certain women, maybe not necessarily in your church or our church, but around, who feel like, why is she the one, and who does she think she is? And how do you deal with that? And how do you also deal with some other people who want your husband's attention at certain times? All those kind of things, I believe, are the things people want to know.
Okay, specifics. You're going to put me in a lot of trouble now, but you are going to cover me at the end of the day. Do I have women looking at me funny? I think right from the time it was discovered that Pastor Dami liked Toju. First of all, I was not even a member of your church, so it was like, you didn't see anybody here. Look, this is troubled waters right now. And so so I feel nobody ever obviously directly came up to me and said, who do you think you are? But you could feel in the atmosphere now and then. I mean, not a lot that, okay, who are you? But it's not my fault. I didn't call myself. He liked me and God ordained it. So it was never really an issue for me. Yeah, so I think I walked through that quite easily. Then how do I deal with people wanting my husband's attention? Like I said in the last video, one thing I've discovered since I've got married is I'm more territorial. And this comes in this context as well. Sometimes, especially when it's ladies, I must confess, that I want my husband's attention. Sometimes I have to do the balance in my head that, yes, he's your husband, he's your man, he's yours, but he's also their pastor, he's also their counselor, he's also their mentor. And sometimes it's difficult, I won't lie. But I think at the end of the day, I know what the end goal is. I know that this is his work. And then I think that makes it easier. If someone's life is going to be better, then I guess it should be fine. So as long as he doesn't do anything overboard, so he's not having excessive meetings
at strange hours and strange places
with the same person. This one is even man or woman, the same person all the time. The person is calling at odd hours. He's receiving the calls, responding. He is kind. He's expressive. He's there. He likes to talk, and people like to talk. So his gifts are stirred up when he talks. So he's all of that, and I'm not quite like that until they get to know me, and then we talk and they're, oh, she's not that bad after all. So I think that comparison is there, and that kind of puts pressure on me sometimes to be a certain way. But I've learned that he's standing on his 2 feet, I'm standing on my 2 feet, we're both on solid ground, so it doesn't matter who is seemingly taller. Yeah, as long as I can stand and hold my own, I just let him be him, and people enjoy him, and then people enjoy me in other ways as well.
That's right, and you're doing so well.
Oh,
yeah.
Praise Master Jesus.
Oh, yeah. You're doing very well. My commitment to you is not for you to be the best pastor's wife in the world.
Exactly.
My commitment is for you to be the best Toju.
Exactly. I think I can now say one of the things God told me, one of the 4 things I said, and I know you would remember. And that, because I was wondering, God, how am I going to do it with this guy? I'm not on his page or on his level or on his wavelength right now. And I just can't deal with anybody trying to make me be like him. And God said to me, I'm taking you on a journey of excellence. It's a journey. Yeah. If you're good enough for me, if you do well on this journey I'm taking you on, then you'll be good enough for him by default. And so I guess that's what it is. If I'm doing well with God and I'm doing what he asked me to do per time, then I best be good enough for anybody else. Yeah.
Yep, so that's it.
That's it. All right, so to the very last question.
The last question, which is also maybe the most exciting question.
Yeah, so they didn't talk about it.
They didn't talk about it. And that's why we call this You Asked For.
You asked for it.
So what is it? Someone asked me. Someone asked me on BB, said, we didn't talk about it. And I said, it, what do you mean by it? IT, capital IT was what she put. I said information technology.
Right.
Internet telecommunications.
Well, it's being sex, evidently.
Boom, boom, boom. You just use the S word.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm just going to pass the baton right to him. Yeah.
Okay, so sex. There's a lot to talk about sex. We made a decision very early in our relationship to be pure, to be chaste, to just keep ourselves for God and for each other. Now, I have to be honest with you. That was not a very easy, it was a very easy decision, but it was not,
it wasn't easy
to maintain or to stick to. Because, I mean, look, she's oh gosh. And so there were times where it wasn't the easiest thing to do. There were times where it felt, like, let's go for it. But because we made that decision early, when we got married and we're now licensed, we got the license to offer the incense. It felt weird and it felt strange initially, like, just the thought of it. But as we got into it, and we got into it, and we're getting, deeper and deeper into it. There have been times where it's been fantastic, outrageously blissful, and supernaturally superlative, whatever that means. And there have been times where it's been like, okay, it ain't some work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been fun, and it's been a pleasure giving you pleasure.
Yeah. And I think this just goes to show, because we hear from other people or we read it in books or pastors tell us, but I think firsthand I can now say that it's actually a good thing learning about your partner, knowing that he's the only one and knowing that I'm the only one, and just evolving
together, growing together.
Yeah, it's quite exciting. So we know that there's still so much to learn, so we know that there's still so much to look for, and so we can still be so excited because there's still a lot ahead. These days it's very easy to be creative with sex.
So it's up to you and your partner.
Yeah.
By partner, I mean the person you're
married to. And obviously in line with God's word. That's some crazy things we hear these days. Yeah.
So that's about it for the questions. So now let's talk about something. We have 2 announcements. One of them is not the best. The other one is better than the first one. Now, a lot of you have said, oh, this is so great. We're addicted to your show. When is the next episode of your program? What are we going to do now? I'm looking forward to it. Angry face, where's it? Where's my video and all? And in as much as we'd like this to continue forever and ever and ever, maybe we'll consider that at some point. But for this series of videos, remember, we're just celebrating the anniversary and sharing. This is going to be our penultimate video. In other words, We have just
one more video.
episode. Oh my, don't cry. You'll be fine. So that's the not so pleasant news. Now, the great news, however, is that I want to stay in touch with you and send you some of the extras that we cut out of this episode and other episodes. Some goofy points and bloopers and things that could be of tremendous use to you and those who are connected to you. So what I wanted to do is just go to askdami.com/relationships and fill in your name and email address so you can receive some kind of regular communication from us. And then that we have something structured or we have an online event or some kind of online session, you will be the first to hear about it.
Okie dokie. So this is a temporal goodbye, but we'll be in touch. So yeah.
So in the next episode, which is going to be the last episode, sorry I'm saying that over and over again, we're going to be doing something really special. We're going to go deeper. I want to spend some time praying with and for you. So if you have certain prayer points, please leave that in the comment box below. Now, if you know somebody who loves love,
Who is in love,
who thinks he or she is in love,
who is looking for love,
or hoping the true love will find them, why not send them the link to this video right now and they will love you even more. We'll see you soon. Bye.